They're in New York. We are now joined by Maura Gillespie and Jaime Moore. Maura is a Republican strategist who served as an advisor to former House Speaker John Boehner. Jaime previously served as director to the Office of Democratic National Committee Chairman Jamie Harrison. He's also a principal at the public affairs firm Cornerstone. So good to have both of you back. Maura, earlier in the show, we were talking about Vance spreading false claims about what is happening in Springfield in terms of migrants killing and eating pets, which is not true. CBS News has debunked that. Do you expect him to double down on that tonight?
Thus far, he has, which I think is a problem just across the board. Again, you're introducing yourself to millions of people who may not know you. Yes, in the political circles, we know who J.D. Vance is, but this is really his opportunity to introduce himself to millions of people. And I don't think that doubling down on such a refuted claim is a strong strategy. I think talking about immigration from a Republican standpoint, you talk about it to be the land of hope and opportunity. We need law and order. That's how you can frame this conversation. But we are a nation of immigrants. My grandfathers both came here.
But immigration is a winning issue for Republicans.
It is, but I think when you're going to win the MAGA vote by doing that. Okay, but what about the votes that you need to get to win this election? You're not going to win them over by doing it that way and by speaking in such disparaging ways and by perpetuating conspiracy theories. Because at the end of the day, you're just telling the people who follow you and listen to you, you're lying to them, and that's a disservice to them.
Jaime, what does Walz need to say to represent how a Harris-Walz administration will, I don't want to say fix the border, because we know that illegal border crossings have been down. We know that the Biden administration has put severe restrictions on asylum, which appear to be working.
Yeah. I mean, look, this has been an issue for a very long time, decades and tens of many long years. And so I think what Governor Walz is going to say, look, the vice president was just in Arizona earlier this week. So they want to talk about two things. One, this bipartisan bill that they believe Donald Trump asked Congress to kill. And then secondly, they want to talk about humanity. How do we get to order and security, but also have a humane process that allows for immigrants who want to come to this country legally to do so, and those DACA recipients, for them to figure out some way to get to a citizenship as well. And so it's not just Republicans are going to win on immigration. It's about a new way forward. It's about the Democrats talking about humanity.
You mentioned the border bill. I mean, Trump has said it was a bad bill. Wouldn't Vance just say the same thing?
Yeah, but their colleagues did not say that. So they're senators and they're members of the House who were firmly supporting this bill until Donald Trump called. And so I think the vice president, the president, even Donald Trump in some ways believe that this bill was the right way to go forward, but not politically advantageous.
Maura, Vance has also gotten a lot of comments and pushback from the sort of childless cat lady that has entered the zeitgeist. Vance said that is not what he means in disparaging women who don't have children. I expect Walz might bring this up because it has, like I said, entered the zeitgeist, social media. It becomes a meme. How do you expect he will pivot from that?
I would be surprised if we don't hear something about cats tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on my bingo board all over. But I just think that when you're disparaging a group of voters that you need to win over, largely, this isn't how you do it. And I think we've gotten to this point where, Sarah Huckabee Sanders then doubled down and tried to attack Kamala Harris for not having given birth to children. I just think that you're attacking a voter base that you need to win. Both sides do. And J.D. Vance, he's married to a woman who is an accomplished, intelligent woman. Why would you then go and disparage a voting bloc that you need or offending your own wife? I just think that he has to be really smart here and not do that. So if he has an opportunity to clarify his comments, by all means, I hope he takes that chance or takes that opportunity. But I just think that we've gotten to a point where it's just politically moronic to continue to disparage women who don't have children.
And Lindsay, we remember this in 2018. The blowback from the women vote when Donald Trump was making those comments then was catastrophic for the Republican Party. And so I think we may see some of those same women come back to the table and say, look, I don't want to have this conversation anymore. We are here to support things that we care about, but we don't want to be talked down to.
Who has more to gain and who has more to lose from tonight?
That's a good question. I think both have equal amounts to gain and lose. These candidates, as Maura said, we know them because we do this every day. But neither candidate is widely known by the American people, so I think they have to introduce themselves. And if they don't do that correctly, that's going to be something that's going to hurt them. And then secondly, they want to be likable. They want to be seen as someone that you can have a beer with, you can have a conversation with. And so I think both have a very high bar to reach, and I'm not sure how that's going to go for either candidate.
Mass appeal is important, and likability And for people who aren't going to tune in for the entire thing, I hope they do. But sometimes you're going to see someone who flips in for maybe 10 minutes. And it really does matter how each candidate comes across and how they talk to both to Nora and Margaret, but also how they talk to each other, but how they address the American people. Are you coming from a personal attack standpoint, or are you coming through policies? For J.D. Vance talking about Harris's housing policy, talk about how it's heavy on federal regulations. Okay, great, he's talking policy. Don't attack her for again, the things the Trump MAGA world has known to do is just go personal, and I just don't think that that's a winning strategy.
No, it's not.
All right, Maura Gillespie and Jaime Moore, thank you both
Thank you,
so much for all of your time. We appreciate both of you.